Hey guys, welcome back. Andrew here with Ambient Endeavors, and today we're taking a look at a brand new pedal from Colortone Pedals over in Sydney, Australia. It's their Zero Sum. It's a stereo multi-head rhythmic delay. It's a really nicely packaged stereo delay pedal with some nice features and textures, and it really captures that kind of rhythmic multi-tap delay sound without getting overly complicated or complex. We're going to talk about the feature set for this pedal and give you some sound samples throughout this video. But before we dive into the pedal, I just want to say a thank you to anyone who's finding this video for the first time or here on the channel for the first time. Please hit subscribe below if you are new so you can stay engaged with future videos coming up here. And please drop a comment or a question below in the comment section. We can engage with your thoughts or questions about this pedal or anything you heard on the video or on the channel here. So the Zero Sum, like I mentioned, is a stereo multi-head delay. It's a really nicely packaged, kind of compact stereo pedal. You've got your ins and outs over TRS at the top here. You've got power jacks and expression input up here too. And you've also got the option for mono in, mono out, mono to stereo or stereo to stereo settings for these jacks here. And you've got MIDI over 1/8 inch on top of the pedal here too if you want to utilize MIDI. So a lot of connectivity is packed into the top section of that pedal. And as we go through the controls of the pedal here, it's a pretty familiar control set for any delay or echo pedal. You've got your rate, which is essentially your delay time. You have your mix control here that will go full wet if you want it. You have your tone control, which gives you a nice range from dark to bright on the repeats. You have the repeats control in the center here, and then a spread control, which we're going to demonstrate right now, which is kind of one of the core elements of this stereo pedal. It allows you to go from mono at fully counterclockwise gradually up into this really wide and kind of dynamic stereo field with it fully clockwise. And so we're going to just show that here, kind of show you how you can gradually expand the repeats and the stereo field into that wide stereo sound. You have a few different options for how to run this pedal. You can run it in single head mode, which is just kind of a traditional echo. You can run it in dual head mode, which gives you a second delay tap. And you can also run it in ping-pong mode, which creates this kind of dynamic back and forth feel in the stereo field. And then with this toggle below, you can set one of 3 different modes of repeats, and it just kind of engages different delay heads in different rhythms to create different rhythmic effects. So let's hear some of those core delay sounds from the Zero Sum here. I've got it nestled into a small pedal board featuring Chase Bliss Brothers AM for a little bit of texture up front, going into the Zero Sum and then splitting out in stereo to a Strymon Flint for a little bit of reverb onto the Walrus ACS1 Mark II for our amp solution. That's hitting Warm Audio 273 preamp in stereo as well before running into the DAW. We're going to hear some of the delays in the different modes to give you a taste of the repeats and the textures and the characteristics of this delay pedal. I'm using the Fano GF6 that you saw in the intro sketch, and we're just going to explore some of those core delay sounds here now. Under the surface of the Zero Sum here is a secondary set of features. You can enter that menu scheme by holding the bypass switch, and the LED will change colors there. And then you have another set of kind of fine-tuning texture type features. The tone knob will control a tape age effect, which adds a little bit of that kind of tape warble and modulation type sound. Your repeats control will introduce a drive circuit that adds some really nice saturation, kind of almost like tape saturation type texture and drive to it. Let's explore some of the secondary features now and hear the way each of them can kind of add some nuanced character to your delay repeats. The spread control controls the Q factor of the delay feedback, and so that kind of will manipulate or change the way that the repeats run away as they start to kind of feedback and oscillate. And then the top right, your mix control will turn into a boost control that allows you to nudge some more volume out of the circuit as well. Rounding out the secondary functions, your rate control will allow you to select one of 4 different tap multipliers to allow you to further control that rhythmic kind of tempo of your delay repeats. So that's the Zero Sum, a really cool stereo multi-head rhythmic delay from Colortone Pedals. Check it out, and again, drop me any comments below if you've got questions or thoughts about the pedal, and we'll see you next time.